Who's ready for 2021? Are you ready? Awesome, man. I hope everybody's excited and ready about starting this new year, new goals, new everything. So if you're ready for it, this is part two of what we did last Monday. If you remember, last Monday we were talking about setting goals, the planning, but as you know, anything could happen, right? Throughout the year, there's always the unknown. We should always expect for something to happen, and because of that, we came up with this part two of 2021 goal planning, which is tracking and adjusting for your goals. There's always gonna be needing some adjustments, but be able to track and adjust, you gotta have those goals set already. So that's what we're gonna be covering today. And part two of this video is what that's exactly what we're gonna go over, tracking and adjusting. So today we're also gonna be covering the importance of goal tracking. So why should you do that? How to track your goals, and should you have an accountability partner? So let's dig right in. So why is it important of tracking your goals? Well, let's say that you have already set your 2021 goals and projected the numbers that you need to hit to actually meet them. So the next step is to implement the plan and track progress so you can ensure the numbers you set and projected are actually real. Because if you don't do that and you find out that you overpromise a bit, you'll need to readjust the plan to ensure that you actually hit those goals. For example, let's just say that your plan was to go after 100 leads per month and you hope to list 10% of them. What I always recommend and what I always do when I'm setting goals like this is to track my progress daily. Whether you're using a pen or a notepad, recording information on a CRM like Shine, for example, or HubSpot, or using Excel spreadsheets, the key here is to track your results daily. If you set a yearly goal and put in the numbers and then you never revisit them again or analyze to make sure that you have achieved your goal, it's pretty much like checking your bank account at the beginning of the year and never checking it again. Think about what would happen if you did that. Honestly, you'll probably bounce several times and you definitely wouldn't have as much money by the end of the year as you hoped. So it's really, really important to track your progress and to make changes based on how things go. As one example, suppose you don't get 10% of your contacts to respond. Maybe you only get 5%. And then the goal for the month is lagging and the trend continues. You need to know these things right away, right? Maybe at that point, you need to double your lead source to hit your goals or add a new stream of business. As things change, tracking them ensures that you see the changes and you can respond to them as soon as possible. I've also realized time and time again that real estate agents usually believe that they're going or they're doing more than they are. And and that easily, I tend to skip over tracking and run blindly and think that you're getting in touch with everyone, but you're not. So we all been there, we all done it. And then at the end of the year or at the end of the week rather, although you feel like you have worked a lot, you have very little to show for it. So that's why tracking your progress means that you know exactly what you did and didn't do, putting your feelings aside. Now, how do you track this progress? So let's talk about a few ways to do this. Let's say you have a CRM, which all of you here should have a CRM. So set up a process within your CRM to keep track. If the second idea is to Google spreadsheet using that, or let's say Excel spreadsheet. Those are fine if you're logging in and you're religiously about plugging in information manually. And lastly, if you're if you're not really good with being on the computer and you're running around a lot, I would definitely recommend using an actual notepad like myself. I always use a notepad as I'm always out and about. It's like we can use a regular notepad or a legal yellow, one of those yellow legal notepads, whatever you use. But make sure that you use something that you can track everything down. Just write down your activity each single day. Then at the end of the week, review the days and review the goals to make sure that you have hit each and one of them or not. So ask yourself, Did I make the calls? Did I send the letters? If the answer is no, you probably have double the workload the next day. That's just how it works. If you want to hit your goals, so at the end of every day, diligently, you can review your activity and your numbers. And yes, we're human, and it's hard to do this on a daily basis. But the more often and the more regularly you do this, the better off you'll be. Think about your lifestyle and come up with a schedule. I personally like to do it on Fridays because I want to get my numbers before I want to get my numbers done before I take some time off or I relax a little bit on the weekends. But pick up a day or the days that works best for you. Pick up a time that works best for you. And the last point that we're going to consider is should you have an accountability partner? We have talked about this many times, and it's definitely recommended. But in addition to reviewing your strategy and numbers weekly, I highly recommend you also do it once a month. Review each of the weeks, add them up, and see how those numbers are taken down. Then make adjustments if need be. If you have an accountability partner or a coach or somebody that holds you accountable, share your numbers. I'm not saying I think coaching is not necessary, especially if you're a naturally disciplined person, but it's expensive. But if that's what holds you accountable, a coach may be worth the money. Now, that all depends on you. If you don't have the money for a coach, sit down and share with your wife or your husband what you're committed to doing and be accountable for that. If you don't want to be accountable to your spouse, then find a family member, a friend, coworker, another agent in your office, maybe your broker or somebody on Facebook group that can hold you accountable. Team up with somebody who's going to push you and who's going to hold you accountable. Just keep in mind that there are many ways to track your numbers, to hold yourself accountable, and to make sure you keep up. So so that's what I'm encouraging you to do. This is again for as a continuation of part one of setting up your goals. Make sure you track your goals, make sure you're accountable, and to be able to have a successful 2021. But let me talk about something else real quick here, and continuing the idea of goal setting. And this is just me. I'm gonna throw out some ideas out there. Hopefully, it will spark something inside of you. But who can tell me, if you know, who can tell me what is the problem we're having today in real estate? What is some of the problems that we're having today in real estate in the market? Who can tell me that? You can unmute yourself and say.
Low inventory.
Say that again.
Zillow.
Yeah, but besides Zillow, what problem are we having in the market?
Low inventory.
Low inventory. What else? I got at least 3 things that we need to be aware of. So that is low rates, right? It's a good thing, but it also low rates means higher demand. And then now we have higher demands. What happened with people? Right? More buyers. More buyers mean shortage of inventory. So that's what we're facing. Those 3 things: low rates, high demand, shortage of inventory. So what if we reverse all that, and for 2021 we come out with 3 goals? And this is just an example. I mean, you can have many goals, or you can add goals to it, but let's try to keep it as simple as possible. Something easy to track, to follow, but at the same time, we're fixing a problem in the market. So again, low rates, high demand, shortage of inventory. So what if for 2021, we find enough listings to be able to solve this problem? Because we're going out there, we have tons of buyers. We're going out there, we're putting 25 offers, and at the end of the day, they either don't get accepted or we're having a hard time getting them accepted, right? Because it's a lot of competition, because we're facing the same problem: low rates, high demand, shortage of inventory. So be able to solve that, what if we do that? Find enough listings. My goal number 2, what if you generate 10% conversion of referral or direct transactions in your database? I'll say that again. Generate 10% conversion of referral or direct transactions in your database. Now, what does that mean? All right, let's say that you have 500 contacts, right, in your SOI. Now, those 500 contacts, I'm only asking for 10% conversion. Now, it could be 10% people that they're referring to you, or that you're doing transactions directly with them. Now, think of all the love that you had to put into your SOI, right? The targeting, the contacting, the calling them up, making sure you're still relevant in front of them. So that's gonna help you to generate 10% of conversion or referral direct transactions in your database. And lastly, try to save $100,000 or more in 2021. Now, $100,000 or more in 2021. If you save that kind of money, imagine the relief, the peace that you have, the not having to work with stress, not having to feel like you always press against the wall. But you might be asking, like, how am I gonna be able to do that? All right, so now, low interest rate, high demand, shortage of inventory. I'm gonna keep repeating that because that's the main problem that we're all having now in the real estate market. But that comes with a big opportunity. Again, finding enough listings. If you find enough listings, now you're gonna have control of inventory. There's a lot of buyers, so you're putting yourself out there, and buyers are gonna be coming to you. Now, at the same time, by generating 10% conversion, you're gonna get buyers and sellers. But think of it, all the focus that you're gonna have in 2021. If your focus is on how am I gonna solve this problem, how am I gonna be able to solve the issue of having low rates, high demand, and shortage of inventory by providing more listings into the marketplace. Imagine your position for this year and we'll set you. Okay, if you're able to do that, you'll be able to save $100,000 or more by the end of the year. That should be the goal. Now, let's say that you don't have 500 contacts. Let's say you don't have 100 contacts. What do you do then? Well, as part B of goal number 2 will be to increase your database. I would say at least by 1,000. Why 1,000? Because that's gonna tell me that I need to speak with 3 people every single day. I need to get to know 3 people every single day. Now, those 3 people can easily come from your database, be 50 people that you have in there or 100 people, multiply it by 3. Okay, talk to 3 people every single day. If you talk to those 3 people and they're in your database, ask them to give you some referrals, at least 3. Do everything like 3 times. If you call your friend, hey, whatever you call him for, to wish him a happy new year or whatever you want to call for, if you talk to them, and we have an excuse to talk to everybody every single day, if you talk to them, ask them for 3 referrals to give you 3 names that you can help in this year, because we have low interest rate, high demand, and shortage of inventory. And guess what? You're solving that problem. All right, guys, so let's be part of the solution for 2021. And the solution is, let's find more listings. And that's gonna help us be in the position that you wanna be. So I hope you find this very helpful. The idea with this is, again, to spark something inside of you to be able to focus on what's important today, what other agents are doing, and what you should be doing to be able to succeed in this market. So again, I really hope that you find this helpful. I really hope you put it into action. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My name is Dalan Rubido. I'm a real estate broker for the Doral branch. I'll put my information on the chat if you want to reach out to me. But we have a lot of trainings coming up. We're super excited to start this year fresh. We're looking forward to a lot of big things to accomplish this year. Steve, what do we have coming up this week?
Yes, Daylan, I'm also excited about the new year. Lots of potential and possibility, a clean slate as always every year this time. So we, like you said, we got a lot of trainings that we are planning. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a training and I'm going to be redoing a part 2, or really a review of what I did right before we broke for the holidays, which was a 2021 marketing plan. So we're going to be talking about that again. I'll be extending it a little bit and doing a little bit of part 2 stuff and a lot of review for those of you that missed it last week or the week before, right before the new year. It was the week between Christmas and New Year. So I know a lot of you are on vacation, so we're going to be redoing that this week. So make sure, as always, that you sign up for all of our events at www.brokernation.events. That's where I always post everything that we're doing, both internal and external events. You can always find them there, brokernation.events. I'll put the link in the chat.
Awesome, man. So I'm looking forward to that. Guys, just keep in touch with that website. We're putting everything in there. Again, if you see any of the trainings that you see in there, that they're free. They're for you to make use of it, learn, stay engaged with us. I think 2020, everybody proved that as a company that we stayed together, we stayed engaged, and moving forward, this is not over. Okay. But there's a lot of more opportunities coming up. I think now more than ever, now the vaccines are coming, the whole thing with low interest rate, high demand, shortage of inventory, we're still gonna be seeing that, a lot of that, even more this year. So please take advantage of that. Join the trainings, join Steve on the trainings on Chime. It's very important to have a CRM to keep track of that, know how to use it, and most importantly, know how to market so you put your CRM to use. Okay, so with that said, thank you so much again for joining us today for Mindset Monday. I hope to see you guys soon. Again, go to www.brokernation.events and register for the next training that we're having. Anything else, Steve?
That's it. I just wanted to remind everyone, like you said, Daylon, to all Broker Nation agents, make sure you get on Chime. If you're not already, a few of you I spoke to, quite a few of you the last week, a couple of weeks of the year, about getting you in for that grandfathered in for the free domain, your free.com. And a few of you now, I'm getting registered this week just now. But Chime, very powerful platform. If you're not already on Chime, make sure that you register for it. If you're an agent that is not with Broker Nation, make sure you check it out. You can get a free inside look at this really killer marketing platform developed specifically for real estate agents. Very powerful.
Excellent, man. One last idea regarding to generate 10% conversion of referral and direct transaction in your database. I mean, think about the position that you're in right now. We have tax season coming up, right? More buyers, like I said, high demand. So think of ways that you can stay in touch and stay relevant with your sphere. And that could be through first-time home buyer seminars. That could be seminars or training for sellers. It could be on loans. It could be on anything. Just think of it about talking to the masses. And talking to the masses being, it could be like 10 people, 20 people that you're talking at one time. 10% conversion of every time you talk to somebody. I mean, think the power of that. So again, going back to that, it's very important. If you have 500, if you have 1,000, if you have 100, 10% conversion of your database, your SOI, that's very powerful right there. Armando talks about it all the time, about being relevant, but being relevant not to people that don't know you, but being relevant to people that know you. Right, Armando?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, man. Good to see
Happy
you.
New Year to all. Sorry that I was trying to get in, but had a lot of things to take care of this morning, but I wanted to at least join you guys while you were wrapping up. Wishing everybody a happy new year and a lot of wishes and a lot of great things for the new year. But yes, you have to stay relevant, Daylan. You have to stay, especially during the holidays. We always talk about, a lot of agents disconnect during that time because of all, distractions. It's very easy. I've been out for a week. I was in Georgia. It's very easy for me to disconnect and not stay in touch. But I always have to, when I'm gone, come back and reconnect and stay relevant to my clients. Especially right now, there's a lot of people making, we all make plans in the new year, and it's just a human thing at the beginning of the year, whether you want to lose weight or you want to make more money or, whatever changes you want to make in your life. So imagine how many people right now today are thinking, well, you know what, I'm ready to buy this house, or I'm ready to sell my house. I'm ready to upgrade to a bigger house, or I'm ready to move from New York to Miami, or I'm ready to sell and retire. You know, these are all human thoughts that are going, you know, they're just normal thoughts that are going through people's head right now. So you as an agent, if you want to, you know, capitalize on that, how can you capitalize? It's by connecting, you know, so it's a very good time to, an opportunity to go and pick up the phone and just say Happy New Year. How, you know, how's everything? How's the family? And if you don't do it, somebody else will, and somebody else will make that sale. So that's what I'm thinking about now as I start the new year, is how do I reach out to them? And it's, you know, we have social media, we have all sorts of avenues that we can go and connect, but it's also important for you maybe to pick up the phone as well.
Excellent, excellent. Well, very well said. Another thing we were talking about is the problem that we're all facing now in the market, and that's moving forward, and we're gonna see it this year, which is having, you know, low rates, high demand, and shortage of inventory. So one goal that I think is very important for us to have throughout this year and put as much focus as we can into that is finding enough listings, because that will put you in a great position in this market. Generate 10% conversion on your referral and direct transaction in your database, and save as much money as you can. I put a number out there because without a number, it's nothing. And I said $100,000 by the end of the year to save up. So what do you need to do to be able to save that kind of money, but to also find enough listings and have a higher conversion rate of your SOI? So I'm not talking about the lease, I'm talking about your SOI. What do you need to do? What's your focus for 2021? Everything else you can add to it, but that should be the main focus for this. Those, keep it simple. And again, I like the number 3. So those are the 3 goals that I have for this year as well. All right, guys. So I think we're good. Again, go to those site, www.brokernation.events, register for the next event coming up, and I hope to see you guys on the next training. Thank you so much. Please stay safe and have a wonderful rest of the day and week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care,
Bye.
guys.
Bye all. Have a great week.
Bye, Jane. Take care.